When I married Sarah, I believed I had found my lifelong partner. We created everything together, our house, our ambitions, the small rituals that made ordinary days feel special. But beneath that flawless facade she was concealing a fact that would one day shatter me. She had been intimate with another man behind my back. I stumbled onto it one evening when she left her phone on the couch. A message appeared, one she had clearly neglected to erase. "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again." My blood ran cold. I scrolled through the conversation and there it was, weeks of betrayal spelled out in text. She wasn't merely unfaithful. She had constructed a parallel life. When I confronted her, she dissolved into tears, insisting it had been a mistake, but her eyes revealed the reality. She wasn't remorseful about the affair. She was remorseful only that she had been discovered. In that instant my heart hardened. I walked away and began to plan my next moves with care. If she assumed I would forgive and forget, she was about to learn exactly who she had married. Days later her sister called, sobbing, saying Sarah had collapsed and was in the hospital. I hurried there, not driven by love, but by curiosity. Seeing her frail and pale on the bed, I felt no compassion. Instead I experienced the cold satisfaction of thinking fate had already begun to punish her. Still, her family pleaded with me to forgive her, to remain by her side. I said nothing, though already I was devising my revenge. Forgiveness was off the table. I chose to let her feel the sting of betrayal in full. I remained near her through the recovery, feigning a softening, allowing her to believe I might consider reconciliation. That gave her hope, and hope was the blade I intended to wield. The first move was financial. While she was bedridden, I quietly transferred all our joint savings into an account solely in my name. I canceled her credit cards and cut her off from the lifestyle she had enjoyed with me. She was too occupied with trying to win me back to notice at once. But the day her card was declined, the look on her face was priceless. The second move targeted her social world. I compiled every message, every piece of evidence of her betrayal, and forwarded them to her parents, her siblings, even her closest friends. The very family that had begged me to forgive her now looked at her with revulsion. Her mother couldn't even meet her gaze. She had hoped for absolution, but instead she received humiliation. The third move was personal. I began to rebuild my life openly. I went out with friends, smiled more, shared photos of myself traveling, dining, enjoying life. Every picture felt like a blade to her because it showed what she had lost, a husband who had loved her deeply and a life she could no longer claim. When she was released from the hospital, she expected me to take her home. Instead, I packed her things into boxes and left them on her parents' doorstep. I told her family she could stay with them, she would never set foot in my house again. Her tears did not sway me, they only steeled my resolve. She pleaded, saying she had learned her lesson, that the hospital stay had opened her eyes. But I remembered every deception, every furtive text, every night she spent with another man while I waited at home. Her pain now was only a sliver of the hurt she had inflicted on me. Weeks went by and she became frantic. Her other man had disappeared the moment she fell ill. He never came, never called. Too late she realized the only man who had truly cared for her was me, and I was the one who would not return. Her remorse came like a torrent, but it was useless. People murmured that I had been cruel, that I should have forgiven her because she had been in the hospital. But none of them had spent my nights crying into a pillow, feeling worthless from her betrayal. None of them understood what it is to be betrayed by the person you trusted most. So I tuned out the chatter and stayed fixed on my course. In the end, my revenge wasn't loud or theatrical. It was about demonstrating the consequences of her choices. She lost everything: her husband, her respect, her comforts, and the future we had built together. She was left with nothing but the memory of her own betrayal and me. I walked away stronger. I didn't merely get even with her, I reclaimed my dignity. She assumed I would forgive because I was kind, but she forgot that even the kindest hearts can grow cold when betrayed. My revenge was complete. And my life was finally mine.